Okay, you've seen it, you've heard about it, you've seen it for years now. This is the ModMic Wireless. But is it still worth it in 2022? Is that the year now? 2022. Let's talk about it. Alright, first off, disclaimer, I was finally fortunate enough to have this sent to me for review, but this won't affect my review in any way, shape, or form. Everything you're gonna hear here is gonna be my own personal opinion. Also, this thing's been out for a while now, and I don't think it has been really that much updated, so I kinda wanna see if it actually still is worth what it is in its current, form and state for the past few years until, this year in 2022. So, with that being said, let's get started.
Out here we have the box of the famous ModMic Wireless, and without further ado, let's crack this boy open and we'll find a box which inside I've already taken out the context, but the contents in this box included the ModMic Wireless itself, its USB receiver, some magnetic bits for your headphone to attach it, a charging cable, an extension cable for the USB dongle, and of course paperwork. Taking a closer look at the ModMic itself, it's pretty simple and clean with the little emblem in the front, which is also a button. Now, it has several lights, one that's blue to let you know it's connected to your device, and if you press the button again, it will mute the mic, which will then light up the red light. That way you know it's muted. Now, there's also a third light, which is a yellow light, which will light up when you charge it or when it's low on battery, in which case you'll get a yellowish amber glow, and all these lights will also appear on the USB receiver, just in case you didn't have enough information to look at. Unfortunately, for charging, you will have to use micro USB, which is a sin in this current age, but anyway, on the underside is the ModMic's magnet, which will be used to attach to the little bit you'll attach to your headphones. And this magnet is quite strong, so I can definitely rely on it. Further down on the microphone is the actual capsule, which you'll find on the outside. There's a microphone to cancel out noise, and one on the inside to capture noise. At least I think anyway, because on the inside there's this switch here that lets you turn it from unidirectional mode to omnidirectional mode. And unidirectional usually involves some sort of noise canceling, but let's get this tested. Alright, now we're currently recording off the ModMic Wireless in its unidirectional mode. This is the mode you're gonna be using it for most of your applications, especially if you're a gamer, because it'll essentially capture the voice that's in front of it and try to cancel out the noises around it using the outer side, because that's just mic design in general. And I figured I might as well do the rest of the view kind of like this, and you can see me recording off Audacity here, and the microphones will generally sound nicer if it's closer to your face. As you can see, it is angled on here, as you can move it around a bit and get it to the right angle depending on how you have your thing set. Now my little gooseneck arm is kind of funny looking, but point is I'm going to have it right in front at a good position where it doesn't get my puffs of air, so you don't get plosives, those puffs of air hitting the mic going kind of like that. If I can capture that, I think I got it. But let's go through some basic stuff. Because it's a unidirectional mode, it should in theory suppress or cancel out noises around it aside from my voice. So here is my keyboard here. This uses some pretty loud switches. It uses sunflower switches, which are tactile switches. So I'm going to begin typing now. And we'll see if it captures the sound of it versus my voice. And this is a fairly loud type of switch now, alright? Let's also click a little bit. Gives you an idea of whether it captures those background noises versus my voice, which it kind of does, but it definitely captures my voice far more than anything else, which is great. Now this is going to be a much different situation when you switch it to omnidirectional mode, in which case the sound quality will also change, because omnidirectional mode usually gives a more fuller sound at the cost of that sound suppression, noise cancellation, whatever stuff. Not necessarily noise cancellation, but background cancellation, I suppose. Because right now, if I snap away from my body, you'll hear it one way. But if I switch it over to Omni, I do the same thing. You can now hear them snaps a little bit more clearly. Now, if I also type, you can also definitely hear it a little bit more clearly than it was before. Same thing if I click, which you can still hear. And this is, omnidirectional mode, which some people will find that fuller sound and they'll like it. And technically speaking, I guess you could technically still use this mode if you're using things like Discord, which has its own background noise suppression kind of system. So, either mode is great. But the thing is, even when I was using this mode, the unidirectional mode, and I was playing games with friends and I was communicating with them on Discord, they didn't really notice that I was using a different microphone. Normally, I'm using this microphone, which is a Blue Mouse. This is a very expensive microphone. Granted, mine was kind of damaged when I got it, but it still was working at 99% capacity, and I use this all the time. But even when I switched to this, they didn't really notice much of a difference, which is a good thing. For me personally, the biggest difference that I noticed was I have a lot more freedom now. I don't have a giant mic in my way. You don't realize how constrained you are until you use this and then come back to this. where this is just kind of now up in your face and in your way. And when I'm like this, I just feel kind of more free, and I can also move around a little bit more. So there are some great benefits to this microphone here. All right, now with the more specific sound test of the modes out of the way, let's get more into some of the nitty-gritty details you'll see, even though a lot of other reviews have already talked about it. So this is a wireless microphone. What does that mean? I can do this because it is just connected to a little receiver here wirelessly, which is kind of cool. And you know, how far or close the microphone is from my face will affect the sound a lot, and you know, you can tell closer is always better. Now, something I should note about this microphone is that it only works on several systems, which is Windows PC, Mac, Linux, and PlayStation 4 and 5. Doesn't really work on like Xbox or Switch and mobile for that matter, but this may or may not be a problem depending on who you are and what systems you prefer to use it on. But I feel like 90% of you guys who are looking at ModMics are going to be using it on PC anyway, or maybe on Mac if you're going to looking for better conferencing quality. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure most of you guys are PC users, or you're looking to get this for your VR headset essentially, in which case, once again, PC for the most part. So that's something I should note, and this is a little disappointing, but that's just kind of how the weirdness of like compatibility and technology is. It's a little bit more expensive to have it working with everything, and this is several years old already, so you know, there is that to note. Now, regarding the functionality of this thing, it does use a nice codec, which is aptX low latency, or aptX LL. So when it comes to like lag, in case you're worried about like some lag between you talking into a microphone and your friends hearing it on Discord when you're playing like more competitive shooters, I wouldn't worry too much because the codec is really quick. aptX LL is a very good codec for like low latency, as the name suggests, and it's typically used for like other audio products like headphones and whatnot, but it is also used on microphones like this, so you know, latency so far is good. No complaints so far. The battery life on this guy is around 12 hours, you know, give or take, and I'd say it does fall accurately around that ballpark in my usage, where I've used it for essentially 2 to 3 hours a day, and I've only charged it like once in the past few days because it just has a really long-lasting battery. But for the more responsive people out there, you'd probably just need to charge it like once every 2-3 days, or even week, depending on how long you game for with this thing. Now then, the really big question we got to answer: is this still worth it in 2022? Because this has been out for a while, and there are some ups and downs to it. I lean more towards the yes side of it being worth it because it's a really good microphone for what it is, being a wireless microphone. I mean, I can walk around with this as like a little microphone here, and if I'm like playing games, it's just very convenient. Also, a little fun tidbit is that if you need to fart at your enemies or your friends in battle, you could just bring it up to your butt and just... Anyway, while I lean more towards saying yes to it being worth it, there are still some things that stick out to me that kind of suck. First of all, it uses micro USB still in 2022, which is... it's just not great. It's on the way out. I mean, it's basically been out. I can't even say it's been on the way out. It's out. I would have wanted USB-C on this, so hopefully maybe they're gonna update this soon and we'll get like USB-C and maybe a new design, because you know, it's getting a little bit dated here. I think a new design with some improvements here and there would be nice. USB-C would be just the only thing I ask for, because currently in its like state right now, it's pretty damn good, but I wouldn't mind like upgrades here and there, like in sound quality, even though it sounds pretty good. If you can make it sound better than this, then I don't mind. But other than that, I think the only downsides I can think of for this guy are 3 things. 1, it doesn't use USB-C in this current day and age. 2, compatibility is kind of limited if you're like a gamer. You can't use it on any console you want. And 3, the final thing, this thing costs $140. Now, you may have seen some other reviews in which case people noted it costs like $120. Well, it got $20 more expensive because inflation and economy and supply chain issues and whatnot, which, you know, I understand, but $140 does hurt. But when you like consider how it sounds, how convenient it is, and the things we get, I still think it is kind of worth it. You know, not like 100% worth it, but still pretty worth it, you know what I mean? Like, if it just had USB-C, my level of worth it would increase by like 50 more %. And if we got a little bit more battery life and a little, I don't know, more solid design, because I think the build's okay, but could be just a teeny bit better. But even then, as it is, it's still pretty good. This is just me being picky at this point to try to make it feel more worth that price. But all things considered, with all, you know, upsides and downsides and price, I still think it's a pretty good buy, just because of, you know, what it does, what it is. It's good. There's nothing out there that's quite like this, that gives me the ability to sound this good wirelessly and conveniently with basically any headphones I want. At least if you're like mostly a PC user. So, so if you do want to buy this, I will leave a link down in the description, because this is basically all the information that I have for this today. So, you know, if this video did help you out, do like the video, subscribe for more contents, and little bell thingy when you know when I post it next. So, yep, that's this is my stuff on the ModMic Wireless. Hopefully there will be an update to this someday and soon, because if I like it as it is now with a few gripes here and there, a new version should fix just about everything. So that being said, guys, I'll see you guys next time.